That's it.
It's like at an angle.
Yeah.
Yes. I love it.
One, two.
Seriously, I've got.
And then thank you for wearing my pencil.
I know. Well. Honestly, please don't ask me a question. There's a lot of answers.
Yeah.
But we can introduce you to the company.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, like, me and Staples, who I've never
Then maybe I need to reach out. Yeah. That was like super cool. So yeah, that's super good. Okay. I might have to.
You know, actually,
There's David. David was following me. 얼마나 온 거예요?
누가요? 아, 예. 패스워드가 뭐예요?
제가 여기 커넥터 와이파이 제가 알려드릴게요.
아, 코리안 컨슬레이트.
찍으러 왔어요.
데이빗. 여기서 제가 이렇게 찍을 거예요.
I'm Nancy. Asian LA. How are you? David, you should be here with
Yeah, the cannabis, yeah. But I know, we have to catch up, for sure, yeah. Like, yeah, all my emails changed, and then I felt bad, yeah, I couldn't, like, because it's not exactly what it was promised to be.
이거 다 blowing up.
Yes, exactly.
One, two, three, hi! One more time, hi! 살짝만 해주십시오. One, two, three, hi! 선생님 저를 보셔야 되는데. One, two, three, hi!
영상이 안 보이죠? That's great. Korean American leaders in Hollywood, guys.
One more photo this way. Okay, everyone, look right. Look right here, everyone. Look right here. Okay, here we go. One, two. One, two. Nice. One, two.
Korea!
Thank you.
Hey, you're losing all of us. Bye, Kimber. Bar in the back. Okay, bar in the back.
Okay.
There's also
이거세요.
a drawing.
Here we go. One, two. 하나, 둘. 하나, 둘. Thank you.
So CJ's Go has also have a drawing to win little prizes that you can enter. So after you've taken your picture, please head to the bar.
Can I have a picture too?
Yes, you can.
After she's done.
Oh my goodness! No boss. I haven't been here. When did they redo everything? It's been like, serious? Look at this. It's so different. How long has it been since you were here? It's been that long. It's been 5 years.
색깔이 많이 틀리시다. 원래 유럽인 생선이라고 많이 봤어요. 근데 되게 여기 사장님이 계시니까 I wanted to go. It's over. So I have. 저는 사실 we have to do whatever. 10시 40분. 몇 살 때 너무 이거 뉴욕 엄마가 아고 와서 여기 오시는 건 너무 그래서 제가 스물자 아들이 하여튼 너무 반가워요. 오르가나이제이션을 저희가 조금 더 알고 싶은데 그리고 제가 도움이 될 수 있어요. 네.
인사 한참 늦게 하는 거예요. 그래서 그래 빨리 시작해라 하고 인사만 하고 바로 나갔죠.
꼭 연락 주세요. 제가 말씀드린
올해는 제가 인사를 준비하는데 너무 바쁘게 하고
어제 그 저기 뮤지컬 스튜디오처럼 무슨 여성 무슨 세계대회를 오렌지에서 정말 안 나갔거든요. 근데 제가 그 여성 이름을 바꿔서 못한다고 말씀드렸는데 이름을 올려놓으셨거든요. 근데 그게 또 서울까지 여기 엄청 찾아가고
그것도 공사했잖아요. 연말에. 일자로. 이게 왜냐면 사회를 좀 실현해야 돼요. 그래서 이제 해야 되는데 한 분이 이세대들만
영상이 인사 한번 저기 이거 라이브 알아요. 한번 여쭤보세요. 안 돼.
With working at the end of our program. So please find your seats. For the co-founders and advisors, please come to the front tables, and all the other tables are open seating. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
오라네. 여기 와.
이제 앉으면 되겠네. 야.
So, good evening. Please be seated. I want to thank you so much for being here to celebrate the launch of Korean American leaders in Hollywood. Woo! Yes. It's about time. We were actually established in January 21st of 2020. That's not that long ago. You know, when Koreans actually want to do something, I think it happens very quickly, yes? We're also known as KALH, K-A-L-H. My name is Kimber Liv, and I'm serving as the chair and CEO. Love you all. We're going to start tonight with a little flag ceremony and then have some opening remarks. Afterwards, we'll start dinner because I don't like cold food. And soon after everyone has grabbed some food, because it is an open buffet, there will be 2 lines in the back. we'll have a very short 30-minute program. Okay.
Number 2.
So even though I told you to be seated, now I'm going to ask you to rise so that we can salute to the flags and call to the. We'll salute to the flags first. Yes.
자랑스러운 태극기 앞에 자유롭고 정의로운 대한민국의 무궁한 영광을 위하여 충성을 다할 것을 굳게 다짐합니다.
At ease. And please join the singing of the Korean national anthem, followed by the U.S. national anthem. Seated. I'd like to welcome the Korean Consulate General in Los Angeles, Kim Won-jun, for the opening remarks.
Very good evening, everyone. Welcome and welcome to my residence. On occasion of the Korean American Leaders in Hollywood launch and networking event. First of all, on behalf of your motherland and the Korean Consulate General based here in LA, I'd like to thank everyone who bravely decided to join us tonight, regardless of the penetrating cold weather. My special thanks go to President Han Woo-sung of the Overseas Korean Foundation, which is the key sponsor of the event, and Deputy Mayor of Los Angeles, Bill John, and Kimberly, Miss Kimberly, and you all founding members of the KALH. As you may know, our special partnership with California historically has not been a coincidence. Korea owes her independence to hundreds of Korean American pioneers who settled down in California in early 1900. They created 국민회, Korean National Association, and Hungsadan, Korean Young Academy in San Francisco, and later in LA to lead the overseas independent movement. And pipelined more than 70% of budget for provisional government set up in Shanghai. KNA, Korean National Association, which was established in 1909, was nothing more than the American Jewish Committee, AJC. So AJC came to being in 1906. That is 6 years earlier than KNA, and without KNA, Korean independence would not have been possible, just as what AJC was to the nation building of Israel in Palestine. California also played a critical role in ending the Korean War by repelling the communist forces' advance into southward across the 38th parallel in 1953. In the process, 2,604 young men and women in uniform from California, including 1st Marine Division based in Pendleton, paid their ultimate price, ultimate sacrifice to safeguard the freedom of our nation and the liberal value and democracy in the world. In other words, the US-Korea alliance started in battlefield, and since then, our alliance of nearly 7 decades has grown from one-sided military dependence to comprehensive strategic partnership, being backbone of peace and stability on Korean Peninsula and in the region as well. The region our alliance has thrived for so many years is that we two nations together well adapted to ever-changing regional and global environment and challenges. Of course, there are still a few outstanding bilateral pending issues, such as smooth transfer over wartime operational control and equitable burden sharing of defense, and etc. So, however, we both thoroughly are aware of the inevitable costs and sacrifice in order to keep the alliance sound and strong. So, turning to the Korean Peninsula issue, regrettably, we've not been able to make further progress in bringing tangible advances in nuclear issues. South Korea, however, as a major stakeholder, cannot just do nothing until US-North Korea talks resume and further progress is made. We need to find breakthrough by further advancing inter-Korean economic cooperations, such as resumption of inter-Korean tourism and transforming the DMZ into an international peace park. The peace should prevail on the peninsula, and another disastrous war is not an option, even by any chance. In this regard, just KNA and Hungsadan in California did a century ago for motherland independence. I wish you, the next generation Korean American leaders, not only live as exemplary citizens of America, but also disseminate the importance of Korea-US alliance and the peace process on the Korean Peninsula as ambassador of peace and cultural exchanges. Thank you so much. 감사합니다.
I'd like to welcome the president of Overseas Koreans Foundation, Han Woo-sung, for a greeting to you.
Don't worry, I'm not going to lead this war. I need some names here. Well, I've been living in Los Angeles for many years, and I didn't know that Los Angeles is this cold, very cold. Well, are you okay? This new, virus problem? Everyone of you is okay? Don't try to approach me. I just got up from Southeast Asia. Good evening. It's about last September or October. I asked my colleague, Consul Lee, who's working for Ambassador Kim here, why don't you organize this meeting? Well, this network probably be one of the most significant network on the globe. So try to organize this network. And she asked me back, well, I agree with your opinion, but I'm not sure. She said she was not sure about the success of this network. So I said, don't worry. The message is there. As long as she is there, we can do it. Give him a big applause, please. I don't know whether you are well aware of our foundation, the Overseas Koreans Foundation. So let me give you a very brief explanation of our foundation. We are a governmental organization under the umbrella of Korean Foreign Ministry. We were established about 23 years ago with 3 specific missions. One of the 3 specific missions is to achieve, if we can, achieve global Korean network. So Koreans these days are very ambitious. They want to build an empire all over the world. So I came to the conclusion that when you think about the Korean Americans in Los Angeles, then we cannot think about him without thinking about Hollywood. So why don't we, launch a kind of network, composed of Koreans living in Los Angeles or working in Hollywood. And we didn't know that we would be able to have this successful network. Congratulations, congratulations, everybody. Don't worry, again, I'm not going to last long. I know the dinner is coming. But let me remind you one historical point. And other than that, you can do whatever you want, and we will stand by you. And Mr. Kim and I will continue to support you. And all that we wish is to enjoy yourself and get acquainted with each other. Let me tell you just one thing. That movie, Parasite, is a clear evidence that our talent, your talent as a filmmaker, is the world level. But somehow, up until today, people around the world didn't know. But now they began to realize it. So all I am asking you is that, number 1, enjoy today's dinner, and number 2, make more film like Parasite. When you make a good film, if you need an extra, there's me and Mr. Kim is there. Thank you, stay healthy and enjoy tonight. right.
I was afraid to shake his hand. So we are going to break for dinner. So if we can start with the people in the back, or just make long lines. It's okay. If you can quickly grab dinner, please come back and be seated. As soon as everyone gets some food, we're going to start with the program. It'll be very short, like 30 minutes. Okay? Let's go.
Give us some candy scraps.
Because they're trying to buy Alphonse shop, and they're like, hey, Sunshine would be a great partner for you guys to make that TV right, and TV just for a family Christmas movie.
Well,
if you're coming,
she would probably be the I work with all It's okay. In that order. It's like Madison. So I just
No, they said that
thank you for your service, ladies. So did a great job.
He's the guy who processed the wire.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. Well, I just got that.
Some of the personal people they can work. Okay, that's why but like for me, I don't I try to stay away from the Hollywood stuff because we have this girl named Heidi. She's all the media. I just kind of stay away from it because it's just I know it's a lot. It's too much. I'm not that smart. Let me just handle the galleries and go.
No, but I mean everyone has to like have their
and that I can handle the ego and just doesn't mean like artists itself the more than you know what I mean.
But on the other hand,
didn't know. So you're on the board. Then I saw that. It wouldn't be. I guess if they went that way. Yeah. Oh my God, we gotta take a picture. They're gonna be so good. Like, how did you guys see? And this was kind of last minute. I don't even know.
But I do not represent Koreatown. And you know, but I'm here honestly because, not just because I represent the district, but because, like many of you, I'm sure someone told you to come here or forced you to come here. And in my case, it was Kimber. And when Kimber tells you to come, you just do as you're told. So that's why I'm here. But in all honesty, it is an honor to be here at the inaugural launch of Korean American Leaders in Hollywood. Now, most of you are Korean American just like myself. And growing up as an immigrant, I know most of you are first or 1.5 second generation. And when we were growing up, there were no role models. There were nobody, especially in entertainment. And back when we were growing up, an organization like this would not be able to exist because none of you existed. So it's very apropos that we have this organization now, and I really applaud Kimber and the inaugural board for actually being able to bring so many Korean Americans together like this. And it is very important. And actually, I just met someone earlier that has a nonprofit called Gladio. And the reason I talk about Gladio is because growing up, we never see anyone that looks like us. And it's very important that we represent. And, you know, especially in entertainment, we always try to break out, we always try to make it, but we have to remember to give back. And when we were growing up seeing nobody, either in politics, either in entertainment, it's our opportunity to change that. So I'm so glad that you guys are all here today to help us take us to the next level so that we can grow. And while we have achieved so much with all of you here, we still have a long way to go. We still don't see Asian Americans and Korean Americans enough in television. And I just want to close with, I want to thank the Consul General for opening up his lovely home, and I also want to thank Chairman Han from the Overseas Korea Foundation for sponsoring this. And I really thank the Overseas Korea Foundation because I've been through every single one of their programs, and they do everything humanly possible to support the Korean American diaspora all around the world. But I want to mention you with this. We have so many successful Korean American and Asian Americans in this room here today, in this lawn here today. But why does it still take a Korean organization to sponsor this and put this together? This is why Korean American Leaders in Hollywood needs to exist. While we are so successful in our own right, we got to make sure that we're able to sponsor this on our own and take it to the next level. So I really thank Kimber and the initial board for the Korean American Leaders in Hollywood, and I can't wait for the second one and the third one and for us to continue to grow. Thank you.
Thank you for those words. I'd like to invite the Deputy Mayor of Economic Development of the City of Los Angeles, Billy Chun, to come say a few words.
Thank you, Kimber. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Consul General Ambassador Kim, for welcoming everyone here today. I was very inspired by your speech. The takeaway from your speech was all generations, especially younger generations, have a responsibility. We have a lot more to do, and it's clear, as Councilman Rue was talking about, we have a lot more that the younger generation needs to do. And it reminded me there's nothing like fostering and bridging those generations between younger and older than when I took my mom to watch Parasite, and sitting next to her watching the husband and wife on the couch. That just brought it also real to me. As a Korean American, I had never run into that opportunity at all. That's just burned into my memories. But there's a lot to learn from there. Again, as Kimber was mentioning, I work for Mayor Eric Garcetti, and I'm proudly to work for his administration for almost 7 years, basically since the beginning when he became mayor. It's a pleasure, it's an honor. Obviously for the city of Los Angeles, we have a huge Korean and Korean American population here. I would say it's obviously a huge force of economically, culturally, and food-wise outside of Korea. With that though, it's brought, again, a lot of opportunities. And again, I want to congratulate the founders, the advisors, the partners, everyone, basically family, from here on in for the Korean American leaders in Hollywood. As the councilman was saying, there is a place for this, there's a need for this, and I have high hopes for how this grows and for the future. I think being myself as a Korean American, I've kind of, growing up in Los Angeles, I've seen things a little different that, you know, yes, my parents kind of instilled in me very true Korean culture, but at the same time, again, growing up in Los Angeles, I don't wait for things to come to me. I take them if I want them that badly. And so I think as a mentorship side, we need to impart that with everyone. So again, I do want to thank everyone. This is great. This is a great evening in pulling this off. I wish you all the best. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, everyone. So, since I don't have a Wikipedia like a lot of you guys, I definitely want to tell you a little bit about myself and how all of this came together. My family immigrated to Atlanta, Georgia in the 70s, during a time when KKK walked freely in their white robes in my hometown to recruit members. So when I transferred to CSUN to study film and television, I found that growing up as an Asian female in Atlanta, which was equivalent to being an alien, helped me grow throughout my tech and media career, because I learned to ignore the cultural and racial and anti-feminist remarks and sentiments that made me feel small, like I didn't belong. And it wasn't until 2006 when I got called to go to Korea to work with director Bong Joon-ho on The Host that I realized the true value of being myself, Korean American, with a unique craft to help bridge and understand the two worlds that I've been living better. I've been back and forth to Korea about 20 times since. So last summer, I was approached by Mr. Chulmin Kim, the former director of KOCA, Council Po-young Park from the Korean Consulate General's Office, and Council Jong-mi Lee from the Overseas Koreans Foundation to start a nonprofit organization that gathers Korean American leaders in Hollywood. These brilliant Koreans were looking for a Korean American organization in entertainment in the entertainment capital of the world so that they can support it. But we didn't have one. So I sought advice from some people like Ellie Hong from KOCA and from my former KOCA mentors, most of whom are KALH co-founders and advisors, and just to ask, should we make one? And the response was an overwhelming yes. I guess it triggered something in all of us to fill a void that we've been carrying around for so long. This idea that we can, and we should, be doing more to help one another and give the next generation of Korean Americans access so that they can rise more quickly than we did, and so that we can grow in numbers. I like to describe this group as like-minded individuals that's been looking to give to a mission that spoke directly to them, a place where we can contribute, that's uniquely and specifically ours to unite and give a voice to. We're the ones that do not see success being limited to just one or a few, but should be held by a group that supports each other and takes joy and pride in the journey and the association as a group. Welcome to Los Angeles. There's been some amazing KA pioneers that's led the charge. CJ's Miss Mickey Lee, who created the Korean Wave. Roy Lee, who brought Asian IP to Hollywood and made them take notice. Sandra Oh, John Cho, Stephen Yoon, who continues to represent us on screen, and Daniel Dae Kim, who pushes from off screen as well. They've represented us well and held their ground, waiting for all of us to rise. But there wasn't enough Asian Americans in the business then. Well, look around. The times have changed. There is great talent amongst us, and many of them are here tonight. We're so proud of everything that you've accomplished so far, but this is where our work begins, together, as leaders. CAL is here to build that network and elevate all of us, and work with other organizations that will help make this mission public. CAL will force the crossing of our paths to be deliberate and often, so we can break down the isolated silos that we've been working in for decades. We'll create a system where we can share what we're working on and open up the lines of communication needed to discuss what we want to accomplish right now and also talk about our tomorrow. We spoke a lot about Parasite tonight, and it's given us a chance to open the door for us as Korean Americans to bring more Korean and Korean American content and stories that we can share around the world, like Minati and Miss Purple. Let's continue to push forward and to hire more Asian talent in front and behind the camera and have better representation in the media. Expect to hear from us as we get organized. Like I said, we just established January 21st, 2020. I hope you'll engage and offer your expertise to us, because you know Koreans are really hard at asking for help. But the reality is, if we don't help each other first, no one will. Thank you. To introduce you to the current members, starting with our advisory board, and please stand as your name is called. Thank you, Roy, founder, producer, Vertigo Entertainment. Teresa Kane, Lowe, partner at WME. Charlotte Coe, head of visual media and unscripted at Hello Sunshine. Ted Kim, CEO of Morgan Trust Media. And because we always need the money, guys, Rich Judd, director and co-founder of BAM Ventures. John Nam, co-founder and managing partner of Strong Ventures. And I'd like to thank someone very special on our advisory board, Kathy Nam, Vice President of Publicity and Communication at New Line Cinema, and also Patty Rockenwagner, brand strategist, for connecting us with the press here tonight. Thank you so much. And to my co-founders, please stand. Mike Lee, CFO of Perfect World Pictures, who's also serving as CAL's CFO. Edwin Tom, who's not able to be with us tonight, but VP of 20th Century Studios. Jennifer Kim, SVP of International Originals from HBO Max. Jake Kim, SVP of Finance at Paramount Studios. Ted Chung, founder of Cashmere Agency. Monica Maser, writer and showrunner. Sandra King, entertainment marketing executive. She looks gorgeous. And we have a few other co-founders that are not able to make it tonight. June Oh, head of business and legal affairs from Skydance. Will Yoon Lee, actor who's still shooting on The Good Doctor, Go Will. Christina Lee, writer and showrunner. And finally, the co-founders that took the leap to join me on this board. Please come to the stage as I call your name.
Rob Kim, Head of Literary at Bushwell, also serving as KALH's VP. Sarah Shin, Talent Manager at Free Arts, serving as KALH's Secretary. Eric Kim, SVP of Current Programs at CBS Television. And Helen Lee Kim, President of International Lionsgate Motion Picture Group. So we're here because, and thank you so much to the Korean Consulate General, Kim Won-jung, and the President of Overseas Koreans Foundation, Han Woo-sung. We would like to present them with a special award. Please come up to accept this award for your generous support, continuous encouragement, unwavering strength, and leadership that you provide this organization. We honor you with much appreciation and gratitude. Thank you so much. I'd like to invite you to stay and connect with as many people in this room as possible. This is an incredible room. We have CEOs and studio executives and actors and directors and writers and investors. Paul Yu, who flew down from 500 Startups, thank you. And all of you who took the time to come and see what we're about and how we're going to move forward. And if you haven't gotten an email from me, please fill out the email addresses on the sheet left at your table so that you can receive updates from us. For example, we are going to host the Sunday's Oscar viewing party at Mama Lion to cheer on Parasite with all of his nominations. We're so excited to see what is going to happen. We're also going to hold a leadership summit this spring to continue to the discussions of how we're going to execute the mission that we set forward. Thank you, and please thank our sponsors, Lotte Liquor and PBGO, for the delicious meal tonight. Thank you very much, and have a good night. One other announcement. In the back, there is kind of a raffle, but it is a little drawing thing, a drawing basket that's provided by PBGO. If you draw something, you will win a prize. So I hear. There's also a photo booth in the back, so if you will incline, you're more than welcome to take a photo. And I wish you a very good night. And thank you. Stay as long as you want. Thank you. Have a good night. I did not know that these were party favors. I thought they were just for use for the night because it is cold. Feel free to take one if you like. Little blankets.